fire!
If I had ever been in before, I would probably know just what to do. Don't you?
8 years before Dylann Roof allegedly killed 9 people at 9 p.m. in Charleston, a roof killed 9 people in Charleston. 9 firefighters were killed and 18 were injured at approximately 9 p.m. on June 18, 2007, when the roof of the Sofa Superstore collapsed on them. Did they put up these signs up at the church memorial because the alleged shooting took place on the 17th instead of the 18th? Anyway, a roof killed the same number of victims on almost the same date, about the same time, and in the same city.
That's a coincidence.
Well, I don't believe in coincidences.
The Charleston Sofa Superstore fire was the greatest single loss of firefighters in the United States since 343 firefighters were killed on 9/11. So now we have a total of 18 people killed by a roof in Charleston at about 9 o'clock on a June evening. This is not the first time 18 people were killed by a roof. Luke 13 tells the Tower of Siloam that collapsed on the Galileans. Jesus said, "Those 18 upon whom the tower in Siloam fell, and slew them, think ye that they were sinners above all men that dwelt in Jerusalem? I tell you, nay. But except ye repent, ye shall all likewise perish." Some Christians believe that the massacre in Jerusalem by the Romans and Zealots 40 years after the collapse of the tower was because the Jews did not repent. So if Dylann Roof was named after the roof collapsing on the Galileans, what is the significance of the rest of his name? In Welsh mythology, Dylann was a god of the sea. The Dai means great and the Lan means tide, flow. So Dylann is a great tide flow. The killings by Dylann Storm Roof will help create a storm of violence that will greatly change the flow of the tide. Hence, the Masonic motto, order out of chaos. The extra N in Dylann may have been added just to make the gematria of Dylann Storm Roof the same as these phrases. By the way, 2 Obama phrases are 666 in Jewish gematria. A clear sign that Charleston was a Masonic ritual is shown by having a high-level Freemason make a reference to the phoenix that destroys itself in flames and then rises from the ashes at the AME Church Memorial.
There's no better example of this tradition than Mother Emanuel. A church built by blacks seeking liberty, burned to the ground because its founders sought to end slavery, only to rise up again, a phoenix from these ashes.
In Freemasonry, the phoenix is a symbol of Lucifer, who was cast down in flames and whom will one day rise triumphant. Certainly, the ministers applauding the president knew he was talking about Lucifer. They applauded because AME leaders are themselves Freemasons. Reverend Laverne Witherspoon and Reverend Alonzo Holman of Mother Emanuel in Charleston are both Prince Hall Masons. Absalom Jones became the worshipful master of the African Masonic Lodge of Philadelphia in 1797, and Richard Allen was the first treasurer. These 2 men founded the AME Church. A Knights Templar and 33-degree Scottish Rite Mason John Anderson Langford was the supervising architect for the AME Church.
And there's no better example of this tradition than Mother Emanuel.
Mother Emanuel is a Masonic term. The most powerful Masonic temple in the world is called the Mother Supreme Council of the World. Originally it was in Charleston. Now it sits perfectly aligned to the Washington Monument. This Knights Templar symbol is at Mother Emanuel. The phrase means, "In this sign you will conquer." Pinckney is a prominent name in South Carolinian politics. The original C.C. Pinckney was a delegate from South Carolina to the Constitutional Convention. Thomas Pinckney was the governor, as was Charles Pinckney. Charles is an ancestor of 7 other South Carolina governors. Pinckney was known as the moral compass of the South Carolina Senate. Christians may argue that his compass was pointed in the wrong direction. While most Christian ministers preach about the sin of abortion, Pinckney was one of 6 state senators to vote against restricting late-term abortions. Just hours before he was allegedly shot, Pinckney met with arguably one of the most immoral politicians in America, Hillary Clinton. Most Christians are appalled that the Supreme Court ruled that same-sex marriage is a fundamental right a week after the alleged shooting. Jesus said, "Repent or be punished." Perhaps those that are playing God are using their engineered moral decay of America to justify its future destruction.
Like I've been here before, and you know, it does make me wonder what's going on.